Martha stood behind the counter of the little roadside diner, her apron tied loosely, hands clasped as if in prayer. She had just polished the last syrup dispenser when a silver sedan pulled in, tires crunching on the gravel. She looked up, expecting the familiar, perhaps the lunchtime regulars or a traveler seeking comfort in hot coffee and pie. But instead, in walked an elderly woman. She moved slowly, as though each step required effort, but there was dignity in the way she carried herself. A shawl draped over her shoulders, hair silver but carefully combed, eyes still sharp. Martha felt her heart flutter. Something about the woman's gaze held urgency, longing. The diner was nearly empty, just one booth occupied by a young man with a laptop, tapping away, oblivious to the world. The door chimed as the old woman entered, and Martha smiled politely. "Good afternoon, ma'am."
Please take a seat, or would you like me to bring your food to you?
The woman paused. Her eyes drifted around the room, lingering on Martha's face. For a moment, Martha thought she saw recognition flicker there, as though the woman had glimpsed someone from a long-lost past. You look just like my granddaughter," the woman said, voice wavering, like she used to be. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to narrow. Martha froze mid-step, the syrup bottle in her hand, unsure of how to respond. The old woman's lips trembled, and she placed a trembling hand over hers. The world shifted in that moment. Then, without warning, the woman sank to her knees. The shawl slipped, curling around her on the floor. Her face went pale. Her hand fell away. She collapsed unconscious. Martha's heart leapt. She dashed around the counter, calling, "Ma'am! Ma'am!" The young man looked up from his laptop. The door opened again as a few more customers trickled in. The suddenness of the moment broke the quiet calm of the diner. "No one move," Martha said, voice firm though her insides churned. She grabbed a glass of water, slid behind the counter, and knelt next to the woman. She pressed her fingers to the woman's neck. A pulse very weak. Her eyes fluttered. The young man sprang up, his laptop abandoned. "Call 911, Martha told him. He nodded and dashed to the phone. While he spoke, she held the woman's hand, murmuring softly, "Stay with me, please. Just breathe." Moments passed like hours. The old woman's face was ashen. Martha felt fear like a stone in her throat. She brushed a stray silver hair from the woman's forehead. She felt inexplicably something profound, that this chance meeting was not mere coincidence. Paramedics arrived, rushing in with urgency. Martha stepped back as they lifted the woman onto a stretcher. The young man hovered anxiously beside them. One paramedic turned and nodded to Martha. "You did well," he said. "We'll take it from here." Martha exhaled, trembling as the stretcher rolled past. She watched until they were out the door into the ambulance and the siren's wail swallowed them. Then she sank onto a stool at the counter, heart pounding, hands shaking. She sat there in stunned silence for what felt like minutes, until her mind caught up. A waitress, drawn into crisis, caught between compassion and shock. She wiped her eyes and murmured, "Oh, God." She grabbed a towel and dampened her brow. A fellow waitress, Jackie, came over, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Martha, are you okay?" Jackie asked. Her voice was gentle. I don't know," Martha whispered. Her thoughts teemed. The woman had said she looked like a granddaughter, but she had no grandchildren. She was childless. She was alone. Later, after things settled, the paramedics had gone, the ambulance driven away, and the diner was quiet again. Only one booth remained occupied, that of the young man, whose laptop was closed now. He watched Martha from across the room. She had washed her hands, changed her apron, and was cleaning tables. Her eyes were red. Jackie hovered nearby. "Martha, do you want me to finish up?"
Take a minute?
Jackie offered. Martha shook her head. "No, I need to stay here, just in case she comes back or I need to call her family." Jackie nodded solemnly and went to the back. Martha wiped tables, but her mind raced, weaving fragments of memory and longing. She thought of her old life, of her husband who had passed away years ago, of the quiet evenings, of the emptiness that sometimes ached in her chest. She had turned to serving food because it gave her purpose. Small kindnesses, a friendly smile, a warm meal. Now she felt as though purpose had struck her in the chest. She couldn't stop hoping that woman would awaken, that she could say more, that she could offer comfort. After an hour, the door chimed, and the young man from earlier approached her. His name was Ethan. He introduced himself, speaking gently. "I'm sorry about earlier. I hope she's going to be okay." Martha nodded, trying to steady her voice. Thank you, I don't even know her name. Do you? Ethan shook his head. No, I saw the paramedics take her off. I offered to follow, but they said they'd notify me if there's news. They didn't take witnesses, they said. He paused, looking at her face. She realized he had been watching her, unconsciously drawn in by what had happened. Martha's chest tightened. She swallowed. Do you mind? Would you help me, Ethan? I feel weird asking, he smiled gently. No, of course. Tell me what you need, she bit her lip. Maybe we can check the hospital, see if she was taken there, at least find out who she is. Ethan's brow furrowed. Yes, of course. I'll go with you. He glanced at his watch. If you like, we can close early and head over now. Martha shook her head. I can't leave, someone has to stay. But if you go, call me when you find something. I'll wait here. He hesitated, then nodded. All right. I'll do that. I'll call you. Your number? She gave it. He left, and Martha settled behind the counter. She cleaned dishes methodically, trying to calm her heart. The diner's lights overhead hummed softly. The late afternoon sun slanted through windows, dust motes dancing in golden bands. In that gentle glow, she thought of the woman's words again. You look just like my granddaughter. The ache behind them was loud, her voice trembling with memory and loss. Martha clenched her fist, breathing deep as if to hold back tears. That night, Martha locked up the diner alone. Her footsteps echoed in the empty space. She flicked off lights, drew curtains, checked the cash register, then hung her apron. She paused before the door, swallowing. Then she stepped outside. She stood under the neon sign's glow, the hum of the road in her ears. She knew she would not sleep until she knew more. She sat in her car, phone in hand. She texted Ethan, any news? Then she sat, waiting, heart thudding. In the quiet, her mind drifted to a small photograph she carried in her wallet. It was from decades ago. A child with curly hair in a white dress clutching a teddy bear. The inscription on the back read, To my dearest Anna, love, Grandma Mary. She had tucked that photograph into her wallet when she had retired, when her husband died, when life grew quiet. She had not shown it to anyone. She touched the picture now. Her heart twisted. Anna had disappeared many years ago at age 7. The case had been cold for decades. Police had searched, questioned, and then eventually closed the file. Mary had never given up hope, but she grew older and the world moved on. She lived with the ache behind her eyes. She had no other children, no grandchildren. That photograph was one of the few links she kept to that lost child. She whispered to herself, as though saying it aloud might change the world. If only it were you, Anna. If only you were still here. Her phone buzzed. A message from Ethan, just got word. She was taken to St. Benedict's Medical Center. She's in ICU, stable but unconscious. No family identified yet. I'll head over, talk to staff, try to find records. We'll call you in an hour. Martha exhaled. Her hands shook. Thank you, she typed back. Then she placed her old photo gently into her glove compartment. She turned the car off and sat in darkness for a long time, listening to the stillness, thinking of Anna, of that child who might still be somewhere out there. The next morning, the diner was calm, subdued. Martha arrived early, opened up, brewed coffee. She poured herself a cup and sat at a corner table. Her mind churned. She thought of that woman on the floor, of the words she spoke, and of her own secret sorrow. Ethan called around midday. His voice was low with fatigue, regret, hope. I spoke with doctors and hospital staff. The woman is listed as Jane Doe, unidentified. They found her in the diner parking lot. No ID, no wallet. They ran tests. She's got heart trouble. Something triggered a collapse. She's unconscious, still stable, but they don't know who to contact. I stayed and filled out forms on your behalf, with your name as emergency contact. He swallowed. They may need someone to make decisions if she does not improve. Martha's throat went dry. Ethan, what do I do? She murmured. If she has no family, they may turn to the person who's listed. You could decide what to do, whether to allow more tests or to ask doctors to act. It's heavy. Are you sure you want to do that? Martha's fingers closed around the phone. She thought of Anna, and she thought of this woman as someone's daughter, someone's granddaughter. She thought of the life she had now, the years behind her, and the possibility, however remote, that this woman might be, in memory or spirit, connected to her. She swallowed hard. Yes, she said quietly. If she needs someone, I'll be there. Please tell them. Please tell them I want to do what's best. Ethan's voice cracked. Okay, I'll call you when I have more. Stay in touch. He hung up and Martha sat in stunned wonder. She rose, went behind the counter, poured another cup on.